Generic greetings! I recently launched a Patreon page and also did a full video explaining why I'm doing it, why now, the advantages of it, etc, etc. By all means, links are in the description and in front of you now if you want to check that page out, and even support me if you do so desire. No harm, no foul either way, but I would be most appreciative. And as part of that, I said I was going to do a Q&A. These are the answers to the questions that people have asked on that Patreon page, and what I'm going to do is go through them all and answer as many as I can. If people have asked several questions, I'll either amalgamate them all or try to just pick the best ones. Also, if I get your name wrong, then I do apologise. Right, let's crack straight on into it. Craig Myers says he's been watching the channel for years and buying games I recommend and is very happy to support the channel. Thank you, Craig. Much obliged. He also asks, what is the deal with Endless Space 2? As there's a sequel coming at the end of the year, will I be playing it and doing a series? The answer to that is yes, I'll definitely be playing it. A series will really depend on the state of its early access release, because I think it is coming to early access, and if it's similar to Endless Legend, there'll only be about half the factions in it, and it won't be balanced, and it'll be a bit iffy, so I'll definitely be checking it out and doing a video if I can, but a series will really depend on the state of that. The chances are I'll give it a go and do a bit of a mini-series, then I'll leave it until it's actually fully released. Everything I've seen of Endless Space 2 is good. I know some people are still not happy with the combat. It's essentially just watching it, but it looks so good anyway that I don't really care, and I did actually like that you set everything up and do all the planning, and then you get to watch it instead of just watching numbers. But yes, in answer to that, I will be doing at least one video, possibly a series, but we'll see how it goes. Scott Cummins states that, with me playing Prison Architect for years, is there any other game that I can see myself getting heavily into? Well, first things first, I'm not done with Prison Architect. I want to clarify that now, that even though it's officially out, I'm not just going to dump it by the side of the road. I've always tried to be a variety channel and do different things, but in terms of gaming, obviously. But Prison Architect sort of broke that rule because it equates to, I think, either a quarter or a third of all the videos I've done, but still not focused on one particular game. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that focuses on just one game. But in terms of getting into a new game heavily as that, I don't know, because certainly towards the later alphas and the full release stuff and the updates, I only played Prison Architect when I was doing videos for it. I wouldn't play it just on my own, or maybe I tried different things out, but I wouldn't play it as heavily as I did back in the day. But in terms of a game that could replace it, for the lack of a better term, then I don't know. I really don't know. I'll know when I play the game. I thought Planet Coaster could be that, but not yet. It's still not there yet. When it gets some more updates and when it's fully released, I think it could become that game, but we'll see how it goes. But at the moment, no. I'm just happily playing different things. At the moment, at the time of recording, I'm playing Stellaris, I'm playing City Skylines, and a bit of Software Inc. actually. And Airships as well. So pretty much a myriad of games, all different types of things. Generally ones that allow you to be a bit expressive and build things, and regardless of whether they be something for combat or just for like architecture stuff. But no, at the moment, don't think there's going to be something that'll replace it, and I don't think I want something that'll replace it in terms of heavy sort of featuring. I don't want to just plaster the next game over the top, but we'll see how it goes. Siegfried Pinzer says, there's several games that I've featured on the channel at their early access. Would I want to do a series in a sort of let's see what happened to those games sort of way? I've always thought about it. I've always thought about doing like a follow-up series, but I don't know whether calling it a new series would really be noteworthy or whether it even matter. Like, for example, I recently did a preview video on Fractured Space. I've already done one of those, but it is more of an up-to-date one, and this is why I've now started putting in the titles in brackets what its release state is, so whether it be early access, alpha, beta, whatever, I always put that in there. If it's got no brackets in there, if it's got no release date, then you can that class that as like a normal done release. But I think that's the plan for it, so I am going to check back old games, and I have done several times, but as a new series, don't think it's really necessary. Bobbins asks, are there any series I would like to do on the channel but haven't got around to doing or just not able to do at the moment? Yeah, there's a couple. I've always liked to do a series where I just wander into a charity shop and go through the process of picking up a random game, literally the first thing I see on the shelf, buying it, taking it home, installing it, and doing a complete blind playthrough all in one sort of go. I mean, obviously not like live or anything, you understand, like not as like, okay, this is me 25 minutes walking down the street home or anything like that, but actually getting it, playing it, installing it, if it's an older game, going through the process of trying trying to get it working and all the fat on, all obviously in an amusing sort of way. I thought that would be a fairly decent series, but I just haven't got around to doing it, nor do I think it's going to be very good in terms of return on investment. That's quite a lot of time to put into something that I don't think a lot of people watch. That's my hope with Patreon as well, that because it's supported in different ways and it doesn't really matter too much how many people watch it, I can get onto doing something like that. Also, I've always wanted to do more co-op stuff, like either like co-op stuff with friends or with other YouTubers and do some collabs. I've had offers to do from several people and I've always turned it down because I don't want to let them down, and I also don't want to well, I'm a bit of a control freak anyway, so there's always that, but I've always had to work around things for the channel because this is not like my full-time op or anything like that, so this is just something that I've always had to do on the side, so other things will take precedence. But either way, I've always wanted to do them, and you know, I might actually get around to doing some collab and co-op stuff, either with friends or other YouTubers at some point, but we'll see how it goes. As I said, it's something that I have to work around other things and life in general, and I just don't want to let them down. That's the main thing. I don't want to let others down. I don't want to be responsible for messing it up for other people. Miguel Beadle asks, any news on the release of generic FPS shooter Lotto.com, and also, what is my opinion on direct sponsorship on YouTube? Firstly, the generic FPS shooter Lotto.com was a bit of a joke that I made. I can't remember where it was, but it might even be on the Patreon thing. It's just mentioning about you know, a lot of people which will, you know, remain nameless, have done questionable things, like launching websites that are essentially gambling for kids and not actually disclosing that they own it. I'm not going to do anything like that. Obviously, it was just a bit of a joke. In terms of direct sponsorship on YouTube, I don't have any problems at all, as long as it's completely made clear at the start of the video, put in the description, and made clear to the viewer straight away that it is a sponsored video and blah blah blah. I know that there's been a lot of stuff, well, pretty much over the last couple of years now, about people taking sponsorships and just not announcing them, or just saying at the end of the video, oh, thanks for this. That's why the rules were changed, that now you have to actually, you can't just say, oh, thanks for so and so for making this possible. That was what people needed to do before, and I don't think necessarily that was bad, because they were only doing what was required, but some people would probably just hide it, you know, probably would hide it anyway. Either way, I don't have any problem with direct sponsorship as long as it's clearly communicated. I think it can help channels out. I think it can help viewers out. You know, if, for example, EA says, right, do you want to come and check this new release? Flies you over there, you get to just play the games, you come back, you're happy you've seen it. Obviously, you're going to show it to your people that are watching, things like that. I don't think there's any problem with that. The only thing, I guess, is that you can be sort of biased because you have been paid money for that. But if you make it clear at the start, I don't think there's any problem with it. I've personally never taken a dime or generic unit of currency from anyone, done no sponsored content whatsoever, not because I haven't had the opportunity. I've had people ask me before, I've just never taken it for various reasons, and I'm just not totally comfortable with some of the offers. But either way, I don't have a problem with it as long as it's properly communicated and done right. Lemon Light Switch says, that's a generic internet name, that, isn't it? That's a proper internet name if I ever heard it. What you do to make an internet name, by the way, is to take two random words, clamp them together, and there you go, generic internet name number 37. In fact, probably someone's going to take that name now, generic internet name 37. By all means, feel free to take that and use it. Anyway, they've asked, have I done any live streaming? And if not, am I planning on doing it in the future? No, I've never done any live streaming, and as for me doing it in the future, I really don't know. I always like the idea of doing it, but also, I mean, the idea of sitting down and actually doing a couple of hours of, say, a build, or just playing a random game and taking comments and interacting with the people viewing. I've always liked the idea of that, but also it's problematic for me to arrange a couple of hours that's going to be uninterrupted at a particular time. Actually managing that is going to be a nightmare. Also, being able to go back and edit things is something I need. Like, this is my fourth take on this question alone, and obviously in a live stream you can't do that. It's all live. Whatever you say, it's job done. Also, I'm fearful of saying something that either comes out wrong, or it's not what I mean, or I put it wrongly and offend someone, and things. I'm not comfortable in all of that. So yes, I do want to do it, but yeah, there's also that sort of fear factor there for me, and something that I just don't know whether I'll actually get to do. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So, to summarize, yes, I do want to do it. We'll see if I actually do at some point. Daniel Brunk states that he's bought several games because they've been featured on the channel. That includes, but is not limited to, Prison Architect, Mini Metro, Guns of Icarus, Banished, City Skylines, Endless Space, Defense Grid, and Kerbal Space Program. His question is, are there any games that I have bought or got hold of or just genuinely done a preview because others have? Yeah, loads of games, I guess. The thing is, people sometimes think that like we live in a bubble and we don't feed off each other. Well, that's not how the world works anyway, and it would be disingenuous to imply otherwise. But just of recent memory, I guess Avon Colony was the latest one that I've seen on someone else's channel. I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. Replica, Crossout, what other games I'm thinking? Don't think Stellaris was. I think that was something that I saw and I tried it myself. Life in Bunker? No, that was sent to me. I'm trying to think now. Slime Rancher was another one. There's several games. I like pretty much everything that you see on the channel in terms of a preview anyway, because I do a preview first and then move on from there. But this is my recent memory, those ones. I think probably 1 in 4, 1 in 5 maybe, I've seen someone else do a video and I've gotten into it and had to try it out myself. Project High Rise, a classic one as well. I was seeing that everywhere and then I thought, no, I'll wait until it's out, and then finally Flabberleaky did a video and I thought, balls to it, I'm going to get a copy. And got all the developers said, gimme, and did a full series on it. But yeah, there's loads of stuff that I featured because others have. It's just how it works, I guess. RRed1234 asks, what was my favourite childhood game? Apparently theirs was Earthbound and still is their favourite. I must confess I haven't actually played it, or at least not to my recollection. In terms of my favourite childhood game, I really couldn't tell you because I genuinely don't have one. I can tell you some of the games I have fond memories of from my childhood though. I remember playing SimCity 2000 and I still have the 2 floppy disks for that. I don't have the big box or anything, which is quite a shame. I remember playing Alex Kidd on the Master System, some games on the Mega Drive, and then the Nintendo 64. I remember really, really liking GoldenEye. That was just cool. That was a classic. Banjo-Kazooie was fantastic. Didn't bother with Zelda. I did own it. I can't remember which one it was. Was it the Ocarina of Time? I don't know. Either way, I played it a bit, but I was never really into Zelda and still haven't got into it. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is amazing. I love that thing. One of the best things to come out of Star Wars. Well, certainly one of the best things to come out of Episode 1. One of the only good things, if you ask some people. But yeah, I really like that one. Probably SimCity 2000, I guess, is probably one of my favourite childhood games. Some of the games I have the fondest memories of is Star Wars Galaxies, the first MMO, and fantastic game. Still give that a go now and again as well, because there's like emulation and stuff. And also... what game was it called? Battlefield 2142, of course. I was trying to think what the hell the name. Battlefield 2142. I've got so many hours played on that thing. Really fond memories of playing it with friends. I can't say that was childhood game because I was obviously older by then, and really enjoying that one. And I have, for some reason, fond memories of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, even though it's only 11 years old, so certainly not childhood, but still favourite games. But yeah, instead of favourite childhood game, I don't think I really had one. I guess if anything's going to be the contender for it, it's going to be SimCity 2000. Making a big city and then watching a big alien thing come along and blow it all up was immensely amusing. And finally, the last question, and I have saved the best till last. Liam Proctor asks, what is my favourite beverage? Well, I'm sorry, there is no such thing. I know that people say, oh, well, you know, I've got a favourite, this, that, and the other, but mine does change. I can tell you my favourites. I can't tell you the top one because I don't think there is one. Standard cup of tea, some people call it English breakfast, but, you know, that's just heresy. It's tea. That's fantastic. Earl Grey coffee, but it has to be black, no sugar. I don't know why, but I just can't stomach it any other way. I guess I can actually, but I just prefer it just as is. But I don't really have a lot of that. Chamomile tea is fantastic. I've got a chamomile nettle and something else. Is it lavender? Or is it like cucumber or something? It's a weird blended type tea. What I like to do nowadays is if I'm just in the supermarket or whatever on a shop and I see a random tea or a drink that I haven't got, I will grab it off the shelf and try it. In the winter, my favourite beverage is Bovril because it's just essentially meat tea and that's fantastic. I'll go for that one. In the summer, I do like myself just a cold cordial of something, so just assortment mix. Elderflower and apple is always a nice one. Fresh orange, but it has to have the juicy bit in. I like a bit of grapefruit juice as well, but it depends on where you get it. Sometimes the cheaper the better, actually. So I've had grapefruit juice or ruby grapefruit or whatever that's Sorry, Ruby Breakfast is a good one as well. But I've had grapefruit before where it's like, it's like 2 or 3 quid a carton and it's been okay. But then if you go to like the mixer aisles where they keep all drinks and stuff, they just have really cheap like in carton juice, which is, essentially for making cocktails and stuff. That generally tastes just as nice, if not better, than the other stuff. I don't know why, at least it does to me. But in terms of favourites, no, I think in the morning, a cup of tea. You can't go wrong with a cup of tea. That's my morning beverage. Water throughout the day. On a night, I might have a chamomile or something like that. And depending on what, whether it's hot or cold outside, could be some Bovrils or some other hot beverages, or it could be just some cold as well. A bit of iced lemon tea is also nice as well. But any beverage, any beverage at all, really. In terms of alcoholic ones, yeah, I have a couple of beers now and again, stuff like that, but no real favourites. Hobgoblin is my favourite tipple of choice, my favourite alcoholic at the moment. Obviously, other assorted beverages, alcoholic or not, are available on that. I'm not sponsored, but I'll probably take a bit of money, to be honest with you. Corruption, it's all over the place. Anyway, that has been a random assortment of question and answers. Sorry if I haven't got to your question. I may have missed it out, but most likely someone has asked before you pretty much the same thing, so I've amalgamated them and I've went to the person who asked it first. I think that's most fair. Or I wasn't comfortable answering it, like the person who asked what colour t-shirt was I wearing. I don't know why I'm not uncomfortable in answering that. It's currently black. It's actually... Is it a Lonsdale? It is a Lonsdale one. It's black Lonsdale top. So if you see someone walking like that, go and shake their hand, say generic greetings. If they sort of smile at you and nod, then you know it's me. If not, then it's a random stranger and you'll probably get put in a cell for it. So actually, I wouldn't recommend you do that. I'm going to be doing more of this sort of thing on the Patreon thing. Like I said, I'm using that as sort of a hub to do random things that aren't necessarily based on the channel, but is more personal, allows you to ask questions, things like that, blah, blah, blah. Either way, once again, link in the description to my Patreon page, Patreon, whichever pronunciation you prefer. And you can check that out, and like I say, if you do sponsor me, then I will be most grateful, and thank you, plus several generic appreciation points, and I will talk to you in there. As always, thank you very much for watching, take care, and generic partings.